Hi, everybody. This is Stephen Whitfield, drilling contractor here from Paris, France, at the 2022 IADC World Drilling Conference. With me right now is a man who should be familiar to all of our readers and viewers, Mr. Terry Childs, head of Rig Logics at Westwood Global Energy Group. Terry just gave a very thorough presentation on the global drilling market, the offshore drilling market, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things he said. Terry, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks, Stephen. Glad to be here.
So one of the things you kind of talked about was the trend that we've been seeing with global marketed jackups, semis, drill ships. And we've been on kind of a downward trend from 2014, 2021. Now we're in 2022. So where do you see that trend going this year and beyond?
Well, the trend is going up, and it's been started to go up. Some rig types more so than others, drill ships in particular. But the recent push that we've seen out of Saudi Aramco, for instance, in the Middle East, and ADNOC Drilling also in the Middle East, that region has pretty much rejuvenated the jackup market and taken quite a few of those rigs, or put quite a few back into the fleet. So clearly all the signs are there for a continued improving market. And I think that for the remainder of this year and at least through next year for sure, and hopefully longer, that it's all going up.
Question I'm sure all of our viewers and readers will be wanting to know: where are day rates going?
Well, day rates have really gone up substantially already for drill ships in certain regions. In the U.S. Gulf of Mexico, for instance, they've really skyrocketed. Now there's been a bit of a leveling off there. Some of the international markets that were lagging behind for a while are now starting to catch up a little bit with the Gulf of Mexico, and substantial increases for floating rigs. For jackups, the climb up has been much more gradual. It's been a slower decline, and certainly in smaller increments, but there's still been improvements. So I think every rig type, every major rig type, when you're generally talking about jackups, semi-submersibles, and drill ships, all of rates for all of those rig types are trending up, and we should continue to see some improvement across the board there as well.
So one thing that you had said in your presentation today, I thought was a pretty interesting line, that the drillers right now are, quote, stepping up their green game. I guess we're seeing a lot of progress with ESG efforts. So in what ways is the industry stepping up its green game?
Well, for drilling contractors, there's been a couple of different areas that they've done things in. Of course, they all have outfitted, retrofitted either a portion or all of their rig fleet with emissions reducing equipment, different things that have captured energy that used to be wasted and now putting it back into operation of the rig and so forth. So that's been by and large the main thing. Now, as I noted, some of them have partnered with alternative energy type companies to get involved in hydrogen and some other alternative energy work. So different things like that, partnering in that. The investment is the main part, though, that they've all had to put into their rig fleets. Drillers now have emission targets just like oil companies started out to do. So they're certainly interested in partnering with the oil companies to make sure they have as low of a output as possible. So they're certainly very active in that area.
And lastly, geographically, what areas do you see as driving offshore drilling demand moving forward?
Well, so for deep water, as I mentioned in my presentation, it's the so-called Golden Triangle. The U.S. Gulf of Mexico was there. It's, as I mentioned earlier, things have slowed a little bit in that market, but South America and Africa are both going gangbusters quite a bit. South America, the leader, far and away. Africa not far behind. There's certainly been a renewed interest there over the past few years. Drilling in that region has been a little bit on the decline, but that's certainly moving forward now. A lot of plans, a lot of rig contracts coming from there. For the jackups, as I noted, it's all Middle East. Now there's certainly activity going on in other regions, Southeast Asia, for instance, Mexico, China, India, all have a lot of jackup work as well, but it's been the Middle East has been the story in the jackup market.
Well, Terry, thanks again for taking some time with us here in the City of Lights to give us a little bit of insight on where we're going in the offshore market. Thanks again.
You bet. I'm proud to have been here.
And thank you for visiting Drilling Contractor.